Oh, wait, here we go. That's how you start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Krishan and Chow experience.
What's going on, everyone?
How you all doing? Chow, what's good?
I guess nothing right now.
It's been a
Nothing's good.
min. It's been a
It's been
min.
a long time, and I've missed you.
I missed you too. I kind of missed you.
I've
Okay.
I'm you know I've been creeping around your videos, sabotaging your discussions.
I saw you making fun of me a little bit in the chat. It was
What
fun.
what was the video I commented on? Pretending like I'm a mass serial killer.
Oh, I didn't catch that one. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the who's that male rights guy that just died?
Oh, Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels. Yeah, I told him. I told your chat that I have him, and I'll release him when I'm done with him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna let him go yet?
No, I'm cooking different parts of his body. When I'm satisfied with Kevin Samuels and he's nourished me enough, I will release him. Parts of him.
Parts of him. All right, so what's up, man? We're going to talk about this Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, so
possibly being overturned. So go ahead.
Right. So May 2nd, which was last week, Politico got a leaked draft of Samuel Alito's opinion that overturns Roe v. Wade. And the case is about this Mississippi law that limits abortions to 15 weeks unless the mother is in danger or the child is in danger and is deformed or something.
Right.
So
can't ever live a normal life. It's got to be like that level.
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically like Tyrion Lannister.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, but yeah. So that got released. No one knows who leaked it, but we kind of do know who leaked it. It was probably one of the Democrat justices that leaked it to the press. I mean, they used Politico, which is a Democrat outlet, and they seemed to be organized and ready for this discussion, while conservatives were definitely taken aback by what happened. So Republicans are still, they're out looking for this leaker, and the Democrats, I mean, pretty much don't care.
They don't. Yeah.
They absolutely don't care who did it because
they're basically covering it. They're covering it up.
Yeah. Or they're trying to do this thing where they're trying to turn Republicans against each other by saying, "Oh, it was McConnell. Oh, it was it was one of the more moderate justices," just so there's infighting, which is just nothing new for the for what the Democrat strategy.
That's their prerogative. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Is it true now that, because I heard that this is like a unprecedented thing, that we've never had a leak from the Supreme Court before?
No, it's never happened.
And it's kind of it's very important that we figure out how this was leaked.
I mean, who leaked it, how it was leaked, just to make sure that there's no more leaks.
Of course,
from here on, from here on out.
For the highest court in the land, let's protect something in this country.
I mean, we can't have the judicial process, like, what's it called? You can't have it, out in public. These people need to debate each other internally, privately.
There needs to be some discretion with it, because of the fact that, the decisions they're making, their lives could be at risk.
Right. Well, their lives are at risk. Democrats are threatening them. There's, a pro-life building was, set on fire, but I think they got it before it burnt the building down. They're going out in front of justices' homes to threaten them, scare their families. So there isn't, the justices have to decide this case knowing that there is this looming threat out there from Democrats, coming to their homes or trying to take a pop shot at them.
Which is implied is what is the motive of why they would leak it to begin with, because they want this to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Democrats have nothing going on for them in the next election. Most people are pro-choice. They believe that abortion should be allowed, but they believe that, most people believe, like 65 to let's say 30, say that it should be limited at some point.
Safe, legal,
And
and rare is what they use as the.
I mean, it's safe, legal. I wouldn't say rare.
Let David buffer there. While David is buffering, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, people.
Am I buff?
I think you're buff now. All right, go ahead.
So most people agree with this Mississippi law's 15 weeks, limit to abortions. They asked the question, when should the right to choose be allowed? 65% said, it should be cut off at the second trimester. There was 80% said it should be cut off. It should be cut off at the third trimester as well. There's like 19% of people in this country are crazy that think that you should allow abortions up until the third trimester. That's 6 months.
Yeah. But I mean, I think 15 weeks is crazy. I think you're just making a choice based on like, all right, I'm tired of arguing. I'm gonna give in a little bit.
No, I'm not tired of arguing. I think this argument is a long time coming.
What's the logic behind 15 weeks though?
Because it has to stop. It has to end somewhere. And I think 15 weeks, 16 weeks is when a unborn child, gains like consciousness. They feel pain. They're starting to develop these things. Their pain sensors are being developed. I don't know if you can see the thumbnail behind our stupid heads, but that's what it looks like at 15 weeks. It's, the fetus is already very developed, and it's already looking like a human being. You can see if it's a boy or a girl at that point, but normally that's not done. And most people agree 15 weeks. This idea that you're going to end abortions is just, it's not going to happen. Most people don't agree.
Well, let me clarify this. I'm in favor of abortions, of course, if it's gonna, if it puts the woman's life at risk. You know what
Everybody
I mean?
Is.
Yeah. I think I take those off the table when I'm arguing about abortions. Right? I'm always talking about the people who are just, I don't want to take this responsibility. I'm gonna go have an abortion. That's the people that I have a problem with. And the people that make it seem like it's this frivolous thing that women, like, it's the safe thing, the safest thing a woman can do, and this is, it's ridiculous. It's
the unborn child is just a bundle of cells.
That's ridiculous. Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Everybody is just a bundle of cells. Me, you.
Yeah.
I think everyone's a cells, right? Everything is a bundle of cells.
Now here's my thing is even in those cases, right? Because I think about the rape thing, right? If a woman gets raped, blah, 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 right? That's one that I stay away from just because that's something I couldn't make the decision on, right? So my thing is this: if she were to go get an abortion because of that, or because of the risk to herself, to her life, I still don't see that abortion as a good thing.
I don't see it as a good thing either.
That's all I'm saying.
I think getting an abortion is wrong, but each their own. They have to make up the decision for themselves. I can't choose when someone can get an abortion or not.
Yeah, you can. I think we have a moral obligation
to not have
to say you can't just kill your baby because you don't want to take responsibility for it. I don't think that's a justified reason. Even
who's going to take responsibility? The government, I think
we push towards people taking more responsibility. Like, we have to push towards more importance towards fatherhood and parenting.
Do you live in America? Some people will never take responsibility for anything. I mean, there's people out there that are having as many kids as possible, not taking care of them. and there's no way to stop them. There was just a court case where they tried to stop this guy from impregnating women. He had like 19 kids or something, and the guy said, "You can't stop me," and he was right. Eventually, the judge who said he couldn't was overturned.
But they could, if he's now neglecting his children or he's not supporting his children financially, they could go after him.
Okay, they went after him. It's not working. What are you gonna do? You're gonna throw him in jail? Then what are you gonna do? He's not gonna take responsibility at all if he's in jail.
Yeah, but now hold on. You're talking about the different. I'm not saying that it works fully, but I'm saying you're setting a worse precedence by saying, yeah, just kill the baby then before it's a problem.
I'm not saying just kill the baby. I am understanding that there are certain situations where both parents are a bunch of schmucks and shouldn't have kids, and they're, financially going to be ruined, and it's going to fall on the state to take care of those kids. And they'll be in the possession of the mother, and the mother will treat them bad, and they'll grow up to be a bunch of hoodlums that go out there and, rob up liquor stores. I think that's just how
you'd rather advocate for, let's just say what it is, killing the baby before it becomes a problem.
Yes.
So that's a better idea. That's a better solution to the crime problem in America than me saying, let's not kill people and let's actually focus on the problem, which we know what the problem is.
What's
it's
the problem?
People not taking responsibility for their fucking children and being good parents.
You know how many mentally ill men and women are out there, just like they're not going to have kids, and the best option for the kid is adoption. And I don't think there's enough people out there.
Okay, then I advocate that we fucking sterilize those people. I think that's a better option than killing children.
There's no way that's going to pass. Think about the mRNA injection, where they wanted to force people to get the injection. You can't force a medical procedure on people.
But that's what I'm saying. That's how far the goalpost has been moved, that you see abortion as like some kind of reasonable thing. Like in this case where we already took off the other stuff off the table.
Because I can see the rationale for a woman out there who wants to get an abortion, doesn't want to have someone's kid, doesn't want to carry it, wants to live a normal life, wants to get rid of it quickly, so they're not, social pariahs.
You can't make the choice the other way, but you could see the rationale here and now. And
I can see the rationale, but do I agree with people getting abortions? No, I don't. I think it's detestable.
No. You're not catching your contradiction. So what I'm saying is, when I was talking about
I understand that I have a contradiction.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I understand my contradiction. And like I was adopted, okay?
Okay.
I spoke with my birth mother, and her decision not to abort, she had to make that decision. And she's not all put together, but the fact is she was willing to, go through with it to save a life, and that's commendable. But there are other people like that who aren't going to do that, who are in terrible situations, abusive relationships, where if the father finds out that, she's having a kid, he might become more abusive. When he knows.
Oh, you're just kind of making up a story.
No, that happens.
But you're just making up a story to pull at heartstrings right now. We're talking logically, David.
I'm not pulling at any heartstrings.
Yes, you are. You're just going,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You sound like fucking Joe Biden.
What are you talking about?
Who's getting beat up by her father because she had a baby. It's like, when is that ever fucking happening? That's not.
No. Listen, there are Muslim men out there that cut their daughters' heads off when they find out that they've, had relations with.
Yeah, that's because of his shitty religion.
Yeah, there's people who are radically religious out there that are abusive. when there's news like that out there.
Well, you should have just killed her when she was a baby, and it wouldn't be a problem.
Then you're
advocating what I'm saying?
Murder.
Yeah, you are advocating for murder. That's my point.
I'm not advocating for murder.
And you're giving in. You're going. It's a good middle ground to stand on when it's not a good middle ground.
65% of people have weighed the decision, and when it's that far away.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that any of these people are going to stop at 15 weeks? If you gave them that, do you think they're going to go, okay, David, I'll take that?
You make it so the federally it has to be 15 weeks based on the Supreme Court case, and you throw behind the medical logic that I was describing earlier, and the states can decide whether to be more lax or more stringent with different variables.
I think you're making a very convoluted argument, meaning
this
like
is a convoluted issue. It's
really
easy.
not. It's really not. You're only making it that way. We're talking about ending a life.
Yes.
If you want to call it terminating, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's ending a life. So what I'm saying is, at what point are you willing to justify that just because it's not looking like the life that you know it's going to be eventually? Because that's what you're basing it off of what it looks like.
I'm not willing to justify abortions. I think they're abhorrent, but the fact is that most of our society has already said to themselves, women should have a right to choose. When should that be cut off? That's the discussion here. And people seem to think that it should be cut off at the 3-month mark. That's what's going. I mean, there's no. I'm not trying to justify it. It's just it is what it is.
But I'm asking you, if you're giving in on that, then what is your logic behind that? What are you logically like going? Okay, 3 months or whatever the mark is, 15 weeks. Yeah, 3 months.
15 weeks. Yeah. They've already the fetus has already developed pain sensors. They're already conscious. They respond to sounds. They're reflexive at that point.
So then life is based on the reflection, the understanding and comprehension of sound and pain
and all that, and they're responding to it and they're being affected by it.
So somebody who's a vegetable, you're down with just like shooting them in the head.
If it's in their will, yeah.
If it's in their will, how do they even have a will?
That's Dr. Kevorkian. That's assisted suicides. Like,
no, that's different.
We're talking. My dad tells me if I ever become a vegetable, I want you to pull the plug. Like I know my dad.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about. All right, maybe vegetable is too far. All right, there's a girl who can't sense pain. I just read a story. She doesn't have like nerve endings or some shit like that. She can't sense pain or temperature or any of that type of stuff. So is she
conscious of things? Is she conscious of music? Okay, then that's 15 weeks.
Well, how do you know a baby's not conscious?
I mean,
it's just based on what it's just based on what they're remembering. That's what conscience is basically.
Yeah, if they're remembering thing, if they're affected by their environment, like the outside environment, the external environment, I think that's you shouldn't abort someone that's conscious of things that are going around.
They say you should talk to. They say the mother should talk to the baby while it's in the womb.
Yeah,
like it's good for the baby
because it's the baby responds to it.
It responds to the environment around it, even though it's in the womb.
Right, but at 4 weeks, the baby doesn't respond. If it's not,
how do you know? You're just guessing. You don't.
No, they've done scientific research on it.
Based on what?
Based on what they've developed already, the nervous system, the brain, what has developed already.
Well, what is conscience based on? Like nobody knows nobody knows when the human develops a soul, for instance, which is what we're kind of talking about here.
The soul is not a part of the anatomy.
Okay, conscience.
Or a medical term. That's what I'm talking about, a consciousness.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I just used the word soul as in like that's like a human getting their conscious being. So we don't know when that's determined. We don't know when that's developed. That could be developed right at conception for all we know, and we just don't remember it.
How is it a conception? They haven't even
I went too far back.
Yet.
All right, hold on. I went too far back. We don't know if where it is within that 15 weeks, so to speak.
They have a pretty good idea. It's different from case to case.
Pretty good idea, David. Pretty good idea. So you want to green light again, murder.
I have the best available science to me is telling me if this is the point.
Okay, then that's my point. Is let's wait for science to develop before we green light abortion.
No one's gonna wait for you to get your science in. Like no one's gonna wait that long.
The whole fucking thing is based on science, jackass.
It's a critical debate that's facing that has large consequences on women out there.
Okay,
no one's gonna wait for you to
then hold on, fool. I want you then to continue this debate and not use science. You're not allowed to use science then because you just discredited it.
I can only use the available science. I never said we shouldn't use science.
Yeah, but you're saying you're going. We have a pretty good idea. We don't know for sure.
Because it varies by a few weeks. It varies by a few weeks. I mean, it could be 12 weeks. It could be week 15.
People develop quicker than others.
Right, so but we know, but week 15 is, we know that everyone is kind of, it's week 16, everyone's got it already. Everyone's got it. Everyone's got the pain sensors developing. Everyone can hear outside external voices. We know that 16 weeks is the cutoff. So they're letting abortions. They're legalizing abortions up to 15 weeks.
This is what science will tell you. We know that's the earliest that we've detected. Right, exactly. So it hasn't been definitively proven, which is what I'm saying is let's wait for science to prove it definitively before we make a decision on something that we may regret centuries from now as a fucking civilization. It may be something that destroys our civilization.
I don't think it will.
Greenlighting the killing of people.
No one's going to wait for you. Born. No one's going to wait until Krishan is satisfied with the science.
That's because fucking weak-hearted right-wing conservatives like you give in. That's why.
Who's giving in?
That's why. And you chastise me because I'm making the actual stand that everybody should make.
Because your argument, your position is going to take conservatives off the cliff right now. At least win the next election before we make a decision like this. I mean, it's just good strategy that you don't want such. So you don't want to refocus the election debate to abortions right now. So for this case,
that's exactly what you want to do. This is the mistake we make every time.
No, we don't want this to be
we pussy away from the fucking conversation and we give in.
Because most people disagree with you, Krishan. Most people disagree.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
The Democratic Party's losing fucking support over this.
No, they aren't.
From women too. Yes, they're not gaining support. They're only gaining support based on the lies and based on the way they're writing the narrative.
They're getting back support from people within their base. They're becoming more active, more organized. They're getting more funds. They are convincing some women who find abortion to be a very important issue, and they're making it all about abortions because at least they won't win the next election, but at least they'll minimize their losses in
did that work? Did that work for Black Lives Matter? No, it didn't. It actually lost them fucking support.
Did what work?
The rioting and the violent fucking outbursts.
The rioting and the violent outbursts. The rioting and the violent outbursts helped to create the impression that Donald Trump had very little control over what was going on. that he was losing control of the situation, and that people were extremely angry at him. If it would have went on longer, if the media would have covered it more, up like going in the last 2 weeks of the election, it would have hurt Democrats, and they knew it. But before that time, that discussion was helping the Democrats because it was creating chaos during the Trump administration. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to create chaos. This abortion issue is, it's creating chaos, but it's refocused the issue away from, the border crisis, the economy, the increase in foreclosure, the decrease in GDP production, like everything. It's refocusing it away from those issues to this issue because they need to win more women in the suburbs.
But this is the problem. This is why I'm telling you that I think you're wrong. I'm not disagreeing what you're saying right now. All the the support they're gaining, all that stuff. You could be right. What I'm saying is people see what's being argued in society, and there's a lot of people who agree with me, but they're too afraid to make the argument. And then when they see other people, like for instance, powerful guys in powerful positions and stuff like that, and politicians giving in, they go, oh, well, what's the point of fighting then? You get what I'm saying? So we lose the fight then, is what I'm saying. Look, we're not
going to lose the fight, but
we're probably going to win the next election no matter what. This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time for us to go and push. Now go look what the fuck, where they're fucking up. Now listen to us this time. And now we could push some of our stuff that may seem a little extreme because that's what they pushed it as. But then when we explain it in a better way and we have the fucking platform, we can push some of our stuff through. That's why we lose every time.
I don't know a good way to explain to women that they get no choice over their body when it comes to deciding whether the unborn child lives or not.
That's because
I don't have a good argument for it.
You're a fool.
So give me a good argument. I'm not hearing a good argument. I understand that it's immoral. I understand that it's murder, but there's also things called justified murder.
Pivot the argument.
Justified in killing someone.
This is what you do. You pivot the argument just like they did, right? You go, this is not about your choice. This is not about your body. And then you have that argument. There's a man's right in this. There's a man's right in if you impregnate a woman, why can't a man have a right in saying, look, I don't want you to kill my baby?
Because it's not the man's body. The man doesn't have. If
then
the woman has a chance of having a health ailment, the man shouldn't have a say.
That's different. We already took that off the table. I'm talking responsibility, which is most of the abortions that are.
You just don't want to have the conflict that could occur with a male. If the woman tells him, I'm going to abort the child, the male might get angry, pissed off, and exact some sort of revenge. Or you don't want to have that sort of situation. That situation has been seen.
So just like earlier, hold on. Just like earlier, you said forcing people to have babies is causing a problem later. Then why don't you see it that way with that? Like where I could go, okay, then if abortion is causing men to get really mad and kill women, then let's get rid of abortion. It's a bad thing. With the same logic you used earlier.
Listen, I don't understand your question. What I'm saying is this. Women should have a right to choose because they know their body, they know their doctor. The doctor's going to give them suggestions. The man doesn't have to be involved in it. And sometimes the men aren't involved. It's really the woman's choice at the end of the day, whether she wants to carry a child to full term with all the risks that could occur with a pregnancy, before and after. And that's her moral choice. I understand that the moral choice is a hard one, and I feel that people that choose to have an abortion are wrong for doing so. But at the end of the day, I can't stop them from having an abortion.
Okay, are you in favor then?
I can't, like, it's like the vaccine argument. If people want to get the vaccine, like they should. If people don't, I can't force them to get a vaccine.
Okay.
like the Democrats wanted to. Like that's the hypocrisy with the Democrat argument on abortion, is that they wanted to force people to go through a medical procedure. And this is the case where you're just banning a procedure after a certain time, or you're banning it straight out.
Yeah, that's the difference. Nobody's forcing anybody to go through any medical procedure.
Right. And that was a good argument that we used against, the Democrats at the time. But now you're saying that people shouldn't have the medical choice and keep the government out of their medical choice, like with vaccinations. So there's like a hypocrisy here on the right, where they're saying that the government should have control over what a woman does with her body. I don't think that's even feasible.
Again, there's no hypocrisy, because you're totally negating the fact that it's terminating a life. That's the precedence. That's the problem.
I understand. And the Democrats with the vaccines were saying that if we don't give people these vaccines, you will kill others.
That's ridiculous, though, because it's not a direct termination of life.
Okay, but you can't allow that argument to.
It's not the same, David.
I understand that it's not the same thing, but it's in the ballpark of it.
It's
where
not.
You're protecting life in this situation and not protecting life in another situation.
Now you're backing a ridiculous leftist argument for no reason, just to win this argument. You're telling me that they had at least a ballpark.
It used to be the Republican argument last year.
No, but that's different. We're talking about vaccines, forced vaccines, as opposed to
save lives of people, because if you don't get it, you can kill people. That's what they were saying. I don't care if it's nonsense. I understand that what your argument is, it's 100% certain that you are killing someone if you have an abortion.
100%, yes.
Whereas the vaccines are, it's who knows if they're protecting someone or killing
Their
someone.
argument was that if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to get people sick and cause them to die.
Yes,
and that's ridiculous.
I understand that.
It's not the same. It's not even like a nearly logical argument. It's ridiculous. Why are you backing it as if it's like there's any credibility to it?
Because if there was a disease that was, let's say we get into this situation like like in the movie theaters, like what's it called? World War Z, where everyone's turning into a zombie.
Yeah.
And spreading the disease
climbing
around
on top of each other.
Let's say it's like some deadly thing like that. Then yeah, everyone's going to have to get a vaccine in that situation if it's that deadly.
Okay.
You getting what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we
would all be fighting for vaccines.
Right. We'd all be fighting for vaccines at that point.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to force anybody to get anything.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the argument is similar, that you're trying to protect a life. So were the Democrats. That was their argument for vaccines. I don't think that the argument was valid with the mRNA injection, but it's just an argument that they can make at the Supreme Court. It's a valid legal argument. The other thing, Ramdell wants to know what side we're arguing on.
I'm on the you know where I'm at. I'm the based, consistent guy over here, and who's pro, I guess. I don't even like calling it
pro-choice side.
I don't even like calling it pro-life. I'm anti-abortion for the most part.
I'm pro the Mississippi law, 15 weeks unless, there's some serious circumstance. That's my position.
Again, based on nothing. Where does life begin, David?
I don't know when life begins. I don't know, but from what I'm hearing is consciousness develops between weeks 12 and 15. The pain sensories develop. The fetus is able to hear and react, and it's processing voices at that point. That's all I'm saying. It's not just I'm just pulling it out of my ass. I actually went and looked at the science.
No,
when
you said it. You didn't say any. You admitted earlier though nothing was definitive.
Yeah, because there's debate amongst the science community.
Okay.
But the debate, that what they found is that up to is that like it should be stopped after 15 weeks.
Okay, so
that's when the
science
consciousness
then
develops for all the fetuses.
Science is a democracy then. That's how science works.
I mean, sort of. It's a meritocracy and a democracy. It's kind of now. It's kind of become a popularity contest at this point.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem with it.
With the whole COVID-19 issue has definitely lessened my my trust in the scientific community, because like at this
and
point
on this issue,
yeah, like the side effect thing, the myocarditis that was just the side effect that was just admitted to by the by these companies.
Just be careful with what you're saying right now.
Well, I mean, that was major news. Like that.
So was
there's
COVID-19.
A side effect, huh?
So was everything else.
Right.
I'm not trying to cut you off. You know what I mean.
Right. But that was basically an area where science failed us, because it became money. It's become a money grabbing venture.
I'll tell you 3 places where science has lost my trust: COVID, transgenderism, and abortion. Those 3.
Yeah, I do find that there are scientists that are specifically they want to find, that human life starts at 24, 26, 28, 30 weeks. So they push back this whole concept of consciousness and awareness all the way back, and viability all the way back to those time periods. But I mean, people get abortions and they have a live, it's like a live birth. And
I've heard a lot of scientists say that they don't know when consciousness actually begins. It's just sort of a guess.
It's an estimate, but we know we know when certain faculties develop.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is what's the harm in going, okay, let's limit abortions to life-threatening, maybe rape, obviously, incest, deformities, all that. So like the baby can't survive without machines and shit like that. Like, I understand that. That's one of those situations. I'm just saying, like, what's the harm in going, okay, let's say that's cool, but then hold off on the rest for now until we get some definitive proof. I don't see what's the harm in that, as a society that's always trying to correct itself and always like trying to fix itself with racism and political correctness and all this shit. Why do we have to like rush into this extreme thing and even accept ridiculous 15-week lines when there's no logic behind it?
Because
we're still
after women's suffrage, they started moving for this stuff, and this is something that women wanted, and that they
not all women. A lot of women are against it.
I understand that a lot of women are against it, but Krishan, when I look at
why are you discrediting them?
Because I see that 65% of people want abortion to be legalized. A lot of Republicans, I found polls were like, 30, 40, 50% of Republicans. How are we, like, you want people to wait, to determine whether it's a life or not, whether it's got consciousness and it's viable. According to the science, people can't wait. People have situations where if they have this kid,
You're using a peer pressure argument with this. Like, I don't give a fuck that the majority of the people want to legalize something that should be illegal, in my opinion. Like, there's a percentage of people that want to legalize pedophilia. We talk about that all the time. Like, eventually that's going to grow the more and more people get brainwashed. So does that mean I shouldn't fight over it anymore? I should go, hey, maybe we should lower the age to 15 or 13. Just give them a little bit.
I find
let's end the argument.
The arguments for and in favor of abortion, up to a certain extent, are valid. That personally, I see validity. And I know I'm wishy-washy, but I am wishy-washy because morally I think it's wrong. But on the other side, I can see logically.
But your validity is based on a false premise.
What's the false premise?
that it's a woman's choice and that they're like a man does like, for instance,
medical procedures are a woman's choice. What's inside their body is a medical choice. Okay, what they do with what's in their body is a medical choice.
Yes, but we're talking about pregnancy. That's a whole different thing.
That's a medical.
It's not a medical
condition.
procedure though. It's not like a surgery. You're trying to convolute the fucking argument here.
I'm not trying to convolute the argument.
Yeah, it's not like she has a tumor and she has to make a decision. It's a baby that eventually the father is going to be, even maybe by law, forced to take care of.
That's the other thing.
Do we get rid of those laws? Are you in favor of that?
I think that the father should be told about it.
Which is in the I think in the Mississippi thing, right? That's part
I think so. I think that the father should be told about it, and
but why if he has no choice? What is the point then?
Because if the father says that I don't want to take care of a child, then they can be exempted from child support.
and then just like, hold on, this is why your argument is full of shit. Because then we're going right back to the thing of getting the state to take care of kids.
Right.
That's exactly, you're causing the same problem.
Who cares?
Okay, so now who cares? When earlier it was the crux of your fucking argument.
It's just a funny idea that I have. I feel like that if a woman has the right to choose, then the guy should have the right to choose whether they want to be involved.
That's because you have a deadbeat mentality.
Oh, shut up with
you
your
have a deadbeat
nonsense.
Mentality. If I get a woman pregnant, I'm taking care of the fucking baby.
I'm base. No abortions ever.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth now. Go ahead, though.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, you were raped? Gotta keep it. And then every day you'll look at that baby and you'll remember the good old days.
Hey, just hope it doesn't look like him, right? Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. Come on. You're being a schoolgirl now.
I'm not being a schoolgirl. You're being a schoolgirl. You're being stubborn. Like
I'm not. I'm standing up for what I believe, David.
Yeah,
I don't give in.
You have certain values that the majority of people don't share at this point. Nobody share.
I think you're wrong on that
look
statistic.
At the polls, like 80% of people would think an abortion is proper if the mother was raped.
No, okay, you're putting a fucking context to it that I already conceded to. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you said maybe on the rape thing.
I waver on it, but I did, but I waver on it, but that's a moral thing. I realize
you're not based.
But no. I realize this. It's just like the death penalty, right? Because people keep throwing that at me. It's like I could be pro-life and still be pro-death penalty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like me going like, all right, because
totally
you're pro.
Different situations.
It's like me going, because you're pro-choice, does that mean then you're automatically pro-death penalty? No, most of them aren't, right? So my point is that if, there's a serial killer out there, I think it's best for society that we put him fucking down because it's preserving life at the end of the day, right?
Unless we want to research him.
Or yeah, you
get some feedback from him, like Hannibal Lecter. Help us out with some cases.
Save his brain for science, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, what was I going with that? Jesus. Pro-death penalty. Nah, I fucking forgot.
The difference there is that the death penalty is a punishment for someone who has murdered someone, has taken life. And so they owe life as a consequence. Whereas an unborn child has taken no lives at this point.
Well, I think it's funny how the people who are arguing that, they go, abortion isn't murder, but then the first thing they compare it to is the death penalty.
Yeah, it's a silly argument.
Well, what I'm saying is this:
because they're trying to say, "Oh, you want to preserve life, but you want to kill all these people that are, on death row," and it's a silly argument that makes no sense because they're just intentionally not seeing the rationale for like the difference between the two situations, the rationale for killing death penalty.
This is my thing: is morally though. Even though I'm for the death penalty, I don't think it's morally like a good thing. I don't celebrate the death penalty. Like it's just something that I
No.
think we should use on rare occasions when we know it's necessary, when we're very certain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of the same thinking in terms of abortion. When it comes to rape now, my thing is always like, I don't know if that's the most moral way that we deal with that problem, but it's also something that I'm not in the position to make that decision on, because I understand that like that's like horrific. It's tragic anyway. So it's almost like, the abortion is like the whole fucking thing is tragic. It's like almost unavoidable to have trauma there.
Right.
And that could cause, horrible trauma to the mother. So it's like life, it could be life endangering.
Right.
So I mean, I'm just saying. So that's why I waver on that one, but I usually give in on that one. But if it's I don't want to take care of this kid, even if I'm not financially capable of taking care of the kid, I wouldn't grant a fucking abortion in any of those cases. I'd say grow the fuck up and take care of your kids.
All right, I understand that. I just think society has moved on, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's just.
That's what I'm asking. Have you moved on?
I don't know, man. I understand the situation of people that, you're a 17-year-old kid and you're pregnant and you want to, you need an abortion because you're young, you want to go to college, you're not at that age where you're responsible yet, and if you have a baby, you might become a social pariah in your neighborhood, and you might lose out on opportunities. And then you have a father on the other side who is deadbeat or is too immature.
But I think you're missing this, though.
And that's a tough life to start out with that kind of disadvantage.
I think there's a majority of people a lot of people that I know of that had kids and completely changed their life for the better, even having kids young, where it slowed them down and made them stop doing crazy shit. It made them go get a job and be responsible.
Sure, but then there's those situations where people had kids and they started doing crazy shit to the kids.
Yeah, but
went and got into a relationship because of the kids and started becoming abusive to their partners.
What I'm saying is you're talking about like sort of almost luck of the draw kind of thing. So it's like, why again? How is this a justification?
Has to be evaluated.
I'm asking you though, how is this a justification for abortion? You're kind of just making an argument about something else here.
I'm not even justifying it. I'm just saying that, like, I get both sides of the argument. I get both sides of the coin. And I understand that sometimes policies, they're justified on. I mean, there's a bunch. There's the women's right to choose. They should have, dominion over their body and to choose whether they want to bring life into the world or not.
You believe abortion is a woman's rights issue? Specifically a woman's rights issue?
I think it's partially a women's rights issue. Partially it's a
like sorry, let me reiterate that question. Do you think it's a woman's right to have an abortion? Because that's the real question.
I think that there's a right to have an abortion and there's the right of the unborn child to have life. And we're balancing out those two people in these cases, and we're seeing when are we willing to say that the life of the unborn child outweighs the woman's right to choose?
Because this is why. Because the child didn't choose to enter the world. That was more on the woman's choice. Again,
the choice to have sex. I mean,
Yeah, but that's the risk you run when having sex.
Right, but people, this is the thing about responsibility. People aren't responsible, especially.
Okay, so you want the government to enable bad behavior then. That's what you want.
Bad behavior is going to happen no matter what the government does. Like, people were having abortions before Roe v. Wade. And they were having those abortions unsafely. People were abusive.
That's another ridiculous argument, though.
Why? Whether or not the government does something, people are going to commit domestic abuse. They're going to commit rape. They're going to have underage sex, and some people are not going to use a condom every time. It's just the way it is. I mean, you can't stop all behavior from happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand your argument here is like, oh, but the government is allowing bad behavior. The government
no. I'm not saying it's allowing bad. I'm saying it's enabling. Like, the laws aren't really supposed to enable bad behavior or unconstitutional behavior, for instance. Which you can make the argument that abortion is unconstitutional. It is. It's absolutely.
You could, and you can make the argument that it is constitutional. I mean,
how? Make that argument.
You can say that the woman has a right to her body, and that having a right to your body is a constitutional right.
Okay, now make that supersede.
I don't know where it comes from, but
make that supersede. Sorry, make that now supersede the right to, life, liberty, and, pursuit to happiness, all that stuff, all that jazz.
Well, having an abortion is kind of liberty. And the pursuit of happiness is sometimes, equated to, if I have an abortion, I can pursue.
To the baby, fool.
Oh, well, the right to life.
Yeah, all of it. The right to liberty. You're taking away the child's liberty. You're taking away the child's pursuit to happiness.
Sure.
Yeah. That's kind of like murder. It's just murder.
It is. But what we're debating right now is whether it's justified.
Right. And we only justify murder when it's self-defense in our society.
War.
Let's keep it citizens.
Well, I mean, when we're saying that the life of the mother is endangered, we're kind of justifying it in that situation too, which is self-defense.
Yeah. Yeah. You could call that self-defense. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Death penalty is another thing that it's debated, but we'll justify that is murder. You're killing somebody.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the debate that's going to happen in the Republican Party too. I mean, I went to a meeting recently and people were having a debate there like we're having here. So there's dissension over it. Some people understand that there's two sides to this argument and they want a balanced approach. Then there's your side that says abortions should all be legal, and then the other crazy side that says that get abortions all the time, every time, whenever the mother decides, which I think is crazy.
Howie, this is my problem now. How are you comparing me to people that say abortion should be illegal all the time? Like, I think I'm very much more reasonable than that. I think I'm not even close to that.
Yeah,
I'm not even on the spectrum.
My bad. I think you're less crazy than those people. And I don't even think you're crazy. I think that's a moral position to take, but you have to consider other moral and logical issues as well, like for the mother. And to just sit back, you haven't been giving me more. No, you haven't been giving me more moral or logical. You've been giving me emotional sob stories that you've been making up. Like, they're not emotional. There's these things happen in domestic court.
Yeah. Yes, I believe they're
father
real.
Tries to use the baby as a way to have more control over the mother.
Yes, I've seen it.
Get them to suck them into the abusive relationship. That's the story of domestic court, right there.
Listen, some people play video games, right? And then it makes them go.
You're going to video games. You're making an analogy on.
Hold on.
Let me hear this stupid fucking analogy. Come on.
Because you're basing our laws on the worst behaved people. Like it's the same thing with gun laws. Like because some fool shoots up a fucking Walmart, I shouldn't be able to carry a gun. It doesn't. That's not how it works. So what I'm saying is like some people play video games and they have a violent reaction to it. Should they tone down video games?
But that's not the same thing as forcing someone to have this child and creating that relationship. Because if you force someone to have that child, they are as a consequence forced to have a relationship with an abusive, father, because that person has parental rights, has a right to take care of their child. And so they're going to have to negotiate on that, and they're going to have to work together. And if you've got one side that's abusive and one side that's crazy, it causes chaos. It causes abuse.
Do you think the majority of people who are having kids are inevitably, or getting pregnant are inevitably, or no, let me put it this way. The majority of people getting abortions are inevitably saving that kid from an abusive household. Like the majority, to the point that you think we should base laws and stuff on that behavior. Or are you just making up something?
No, this actually happens. It's dude, this is not made up.
No. I'm not saying that
they're more common than you think. Where
how common is what I'm asking you? You're bringing it up. I'm asking you to verify your statistics.
They don't want to inform the mother. Doesn't have a right. The father doesn't have a right to be informed about the pregnancy because of these domestic abuse issues that commonly arise when the father is upset over the woman's decision.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What about a Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation? An abusive woman. Where's the protection for that? An abusive woman who's gonna have a baby just to trap a man and do it. Where's the laws and all the protections and the rights for that you're passionately fighting for? That you should be passionately fighting for because you're a man, listen, by the way.
I don't
Go ahead.
know, but if the woman is really abusive, then eventually, the courts will intervene and give the child over to the man. But in that situation,
so it's unfair to women then, the court systems.
What do you mean the court system's unfavorable then?
Because you're saying that it wouldn't go the other way. You're saying that they would just easily give it to the man. Look at that. Whoa,
the father will lose parental rights, total parental rights, if they're abusive.
Okay.
That's the thing that's argued in domestic court, or when they're fighting over the children. That hold on. Okay. So I need to have the kids, and I don't want to have the relationship with the father.
Dude, you're totally fucking destroying your own argument here. So why didn't then, if we have the protections for all that, why do we need abortion to fix that problem? Why are you bringing that up as an argument?
Because they're not full protections. People can still be abusive and not have
you're fucking strawmanning and grabbing for straws, dude.
You're not understanding the idiosyncrasies of these familial relationships. There's all kinds of situations where there's this domestic abuse.
To try to throw me off. Go ahead.
There's domestic abuse all the time, but it goes under the radar. It doesn't always,
Yeah, but by your own,
get the kid over to one side.
Yeah, but by your own logic, you believe that domestic abuse goes both ways, physically and mentally. So where's the protections again for the men that you believe are getting abused and are in a better position to get abused because the woman carries the baby?
I don't know.
You don't care. You don't give a fuck.
Of course I care, but the fact is we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about
they go hand in hand.
Women in these situations, because they're the ones carrying the child, and they're the ones who have to make a decision. Hey, is this father a psychopath that's gonna use his baby to harass me, and is he gonna go crazy if I make a decision? Those are situations that are
and what do you tell a man the same? What do you tell the man the same? In the same situation?
You'd probably say situation that the man doesn't know.
No, if this woman is a psychopath and she's gonna trap me in this baby thing, you'd probably tell that dude, If you're thinking that,
you gotta pay, and you gotta pay for your kid, and you have to establish, relations with your kid and take care of your kid. What else you can do? If the woman is really abusive in the relationship, then the court will do something about it. Maybe not, but there are protections for both sides. Are there good protections for the man? Probably not, but that's a different issue.
Yeah, but you're the one that brought it up in the case of abortions.
You
brought it up as an argument
to abortions, but the man doesn't decide whether to have an abortion or not.
What?
A guy doesn't decide to have an abortion or not.
Yeah, but no. My argument,
women that are.
Yeah, but every time you bring up the talk about abortions, you always talk about the abusive men that are fucking controlling women and blah blah blah. It's like, what about
that's
the
one
majority
example
of
the
people?
Situation that's considered by women when they decide to bring a child into the world.
No, you see, you're trying to be fancy with your words. When she decides
to
hold on, fool. When she decides to fuck a psychopath and get her fucking pussy injected, that's what the fuck happens. You're trying to make it into this like whole thing, like where she's in this abusive relationship, but she's bringing forth life into the world. It's like, bro.
Sometimes those relationships are abusive to begin with. Sometimes they start to become abusive. It all depends. It's just one factor for a woman when deciding whether to carry a kid into the world. The other factors are like, is this going to ruin my opportunity? Am I going to be able to afford to have this kid? Can I,
that all could suck a dick. That's what we think about. That's what we all think about. Like, I don't see why that means that at my whim, though, I could terminate a life because I can't afford it, or I can't handle it, or whatever. Like, I don't get what is the argument here? Like, I don't get.
I can't be a proper mother, so I'm going to terminate the life. Listen, I'm not saying it's morally correct, but I'm also saying it's not morally correct.
I don't see how you see that.
It's just how I see it.
So you see it as amoral.
Contradictory.
It's amoral. Abortion is a tool.
I am just a mere fly on the wall, staring at all these different things. And
I think you're scared. I'm
not scared.
Yeah, I think you are, bro.
Why would I be scared?
I don't know. I'm trying to wonder why all these Republicans and conservatives are giving in on this horseshit, and all I could come up with is you're scared. Because you're singling me out as if I'm being unreasonable and I'm being like a caveman.
I retract my statements about you being crazy and unreasonable. Like
you retracted it already, and then you said it again. So your retraction means nothing to me.
Must have slipped.
You compared me to women who want to kill fucking 2-year-olds.
It's my right.
I think you got to rethink this, David. I think you got to rethink it.
I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it.
Think about it again.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I am tired. I just don't see. I'm very political. Like I look at things from a strategical point of view in elections.
So not moral. It's not moral then.
It's not. My morals tell me that abortion should not be legal, but my morals also tell me that I don't know what it is to be a woman. I don't know what the decision is like. And I think there is something to the argument that they have a right over their body and to determine whether they give birth or not, or terminate the pregnancy for a wide range of issues. I don't know what to tell you.
It sounds like it's not a wide range of issues. It's any issue. Because if you're going with the responsibility, like she can't take responsibility. That's like the most frivolous one.
You can't do like a survey of these women of why are you having this abortion? Like they're going like, that's not how medical procedures work. The doctor isn't taking account of, is this a valid reason? Is this not a valid reason? It's these are medical decisions that are up to the doctor and the mother.
Women are basically, telling their stories openly about their abortions, and usually, from what I've read, and I don't know one woman that was raped, or her father fucked her and that's why she needs an abortion, or even the medical thing. Any chick that I know that got an abortion was based on, I couldn't take care of it. I wasn't ready. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. And I think that's a poor excuse.
I get you.
I think it's a very lame excuse.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
It seems like that way.
I'd be totally with you if it wasn't that one thing. I think that's a super left wing take.
I don't think it's that left wing. I think there are people that they don't have they're from broken families. They don't really have a place to live. They get pregnant because they're.
I think he froze. Thank God. You're buffering.
I'm buffering.
You're buffering.
I'm gonna be super fit.
All right. Yeah, there's kids that are there's people that have kids that are fucked up, like most people.
What do we do with the
Can I ask you a question then?
Fucked up people and their fucked up offspring. I don't know.
If somebody was like, "Hey, I'm having an abortion," and you said why, and they go, "Inflation."
I'd say
that would be a valid reason for you then.
That's not a valid reason for me. For me personally, it's not a valid decision. It's not a valid reason. But it's not me making the choice at that point. I don't have that personal choice in front of me.
All right, if you had that choice in front of you, what would you do?
Like if I knocked a girl up and she said, "I'm not having a kid because of abortion, because of inflation," I would.
No. You knock a girl up. What's your?
But I can afford the kid, so.
So it's all about finances then.
Everything is about finances, man.
I don't know one kid that I grew up with that grew up rich. You're the only rich person I know.
Well, you should be honored.
Well, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Wanda grew up poor. He now owns 2 businesses.
That's wonderful.
Has kids. Well, I'm just saying, I don't think it's a valid reason whatsoever. So, Krishan, are you saying that they should be able to or no? I'm saying this. I'll say it one more time.
1 second.
I think abortions should be banned, but they should be allowed in the case of if a woman is, at risk of death. The child is basically he can only live if he's on a machine for the rest of his life, or the rape incest thing. Other than that's literally the only fucking thing.
What did the incest baby ever do?
He was born.
He was born godless.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I waver on that morally. I don't know if that's right.
You see, but that's the thing. Where's the line is different for everybody. I don't know what is right in every single situation. But we're not gonna, as a society, we're not gonna take away the right completely from everybody just because we, don't have the line. We haven't set the line yet. Hopefully, the Supreme Court will set a line here. And if they decide on your side whether Roe v. Wade is totally overturned, there's no right to abortion, you let the states decide, then that's one thing. But
I have a little theory that I concocted 5 minutes before we went on air. You want to hear it?
Oh, okay.
Tell me if this sounds
half-cocked theory.
Because most abortion laws right now are not even based on Roe versus Wade. They're based on Planned Parenthood versus Casey.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling that the left has been using Roe versus Wade as sort of the card, and I think they're getting ready to let go of that card because I think they're gonna prop up Planned Parenthood versus Casey as the precedence of abortion laws, because Roe versus Wade is like in what you're saying, it's still too extreme for people to get behind it.
Roe versus Wade gives the woman a right to choose whether to terminate the pregnancy. Planned Parenthood versus Casey determines what laws create a substantial burden on those rights. If a law creates a substantial burden on a woman's right to have an abortion, then it's knocked down by the Supreme Court.
All right, say that one more time.
It's the substantial burden rule. So Planned Parenthood gives women the right to choose whether to have an abortion. Planned Parenthood versus Casey is about what laws create a substantial burden on a woman's right to choose, and if it does create a substantial burden, then those laws are not valid. They get knocked down by the court.
They get okay.
Right. It puts a constraint on the states in enacting laws that limit abortions.
So so in other words, they still need Roe versus Wade for the other side of the coin.
Yeah, Alito's draft is basically Roe v. Wade is overturned. There's no right to an abortion. These things should be decided by the states.
Woo!
That's why the last 2 years, starting in 2019, that's when you saw a lot of different states come out with new abortion laws. They were hoping that the left would appeal them all the way to the Supreme Court. It's not until last year that they reignited that effort again, and the left has fallen, has appealed all the way to the Supreme Court now. The last case was in December. I think it was a Texas abortion provider of Planned Parenthood, where they said that what'd they say?
What'd they say?
I think they said, one second, I have it down here. They overruled the state courts that, I can't even find. The Supreme Court ruled against the Texas abortion provider in December of 2021 that came from the state Supreme Court. The left in place of the Texas law that bars procedures after 6 weeks. They left in place the Texas law that bars procedures after 6 weeks. So they were saying that the 6 week limit in Texas was fine unless there's a medical necessity, and that the Democrats would have to go through the federal court system to challenge the law, because that was the attempt. That case was an attempt by the Democrats to challenge the law without threatening Roe v. Wade.
Got you. So I see.
I think I got that right.
No, it makes sense. Because I also was seeing in the Planned Parenthood versus Casey was more about whether or not the mother has to let the father know. I forget what else it was. I actually have it here. Woman must give informed consent. Woman must receive state published information. For minors, a parent must give informed consent. Married women must notify their husbands. Providers must keep records and report information. That's
right.
The basis. Misfit Ramdell, I can get behind, in response to my answer, I can get behind that because in those instances, I understand But if you don't want it just because, oh, I'm not ready yet, shouldn't be able to. But either way, look at it, maybe illegal or legal, it's still going to happen regardless.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
I think the whole, oh, I'm not ready yet is kind of like, if that's your only reason, that's a terrible reason. Like, this is totally immoral reason.
It's narcissism at its worst.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, you remember, I remember reading a story like years ago of a woman that had a baby and she didn't want to keep it because she thought it was ugly.
Must have been one god-awfully ugly baby.
Yeah. A face a mother couldn't love.
Twisted up.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but it's like
we'll have to see the picture before we judge.
Before we judge her, right?
I can't disparage this woman. This baby might have been horrific to look at.
That's an ugly goddamn baby.
You see, the thing about, you know, the problem with this is, what if the spawn of Satan was able to get inside a unborn fetus? Then we'd have to, should the mother have the right to choose to abort that, you know, spawn of Satan?
I would love to fight the spawn of Satan. I would shoot that baby in the head.
You never want the baby to be born, because after it's born, it's got the powers already. It's already got the, you know, who's Lucifer's son? What's he called again?
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to kill it in the womb, right?
So you're saying like we could potentially stop baby Hitler?
Yeah. Well, the son of Satan. We could stop the, the apocalypse, bringing hell on earth.
Listen, this is my my official reason here.
You never hear the pro-lifers address that at all.
Here's my official sexist reason. I think you're putting a lot of power in the hands of a bunch of goofy broads. That we have women that go, I don't like how that baby looks. I don't want it. You want to put power in her hands. You're fucking insane.
Yeah, those people are going to be, you know, come along for the ride too.
Is there any grown women in your life that you would put your safety in their hands?
In what way?
Your physical safety and well-being. You might tell them you do, but you're still looking around. You're saving. You're protecting them. I
am just hoping that they will be a suitable distraction for whatever is coming at me. That they can present some sort of I don't know, some sort of aid in attack or defense.
Like Harley Quinn, where Joker would push her in the way and then throw something.
I mean that might be good enough. Just push the woman out, into danger.
Or like
give you a second.
A GTA side mission where the woman is waving you down and then they jump out of the bushes and rob you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What you're hoping for is that they will. Well, if they have a gun, then that's the equalizer. They can, they can present just as good a threat as you, right? Or defense as you.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the main reasons why.
I would put I would put my physical safety in the hands of a woman.
No, but if you're there, and she has to pull out a gun. As the man, I'm not saying you're doing this, but you want to be the one that goes, hand it over, sweetie.
Oh yeah, I want that gun.
Stand back.
Right. Because I know some things about,
skeet shooting.
I know some tricks I learned in Call of Duty. I've got some Fortnite game I'm gonna slide and start shooting.
You want to hear something crazy? Ever since I played like a few Call of Duties and got really into it, I could watch military video now and know what's going on.
Right.
Like I know the movements. I know that they're trying to flank. I know I know what they're trying to do, and it's amazing. It scared me. Battlefield and Call of Duty, those 2 games.
Battlefield. I hated the new Battlefield.
I heard it sucked. The World War what was it? World War II one, where you're in the desert and you're playing as Arabs. You're shooting Arabs in the desert.
Horrible.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Wait,
Battlefield 1 is it called? The old one where it's like World War II era.
I don't know. I didn't play that one.
I think you're fighting Nazis.
They always go back to Nazis. I'm tired of fighting the Nazis already.
They're the greatest villain in human history. You have to fight them.
Are they?
We're doing it for you. Why are you complaining?
Oh my God, because we're letting the communists get off scot-free.
You're right. It's because communists make the fucking games. That's the problem.
It's because China. We can't everyone's got to be Russian. The threat has always got to be Russia.
Russia's gonna be the new threat in video games now.
They've always been the threat in video games. It's so boring. It's the Nazis or the Russians.
I get so bored of fighting Russians. I never get bored of fighting Nazis. It's always fun. And Arabs. Nazis and Arabs.
Have you tried to fight the Nazi zombies yet in Call of Duty?
Nazis in Call of Duty? I haven't played the new Call of Duty. Last Call of Duty I played was the one with Stabler.
Stabler, okay.
The guy from Law and Order. He was the main character.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Battlefield 1492? Or sorry.
1949.
What is that? The Columbus version?
They're fighting with galleons
and cannons. And muskets. Did they have muskets back then?
Hold the line! Hold the line!
Stay together! Stay together, men!
Stay together. Yo, ever since I saw The Patriot, I like that movie changed my whole perception on like colonial fighting and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. It was so stupid. They just got into lines and started shooting.
And just charged at each other.
No, they would just get into columns and just started shooing the other columns from another column.
That's how they did it?
Yeah, they would just stand in columns like dopes.
That's dumber than the like charging at each other. At least there's like a logic to that.
Yeah, well, they charged the horses. The cavalry are the ones that charged.
Was that like eventually somebody was like, "Hey fellas, we can go into cover," and it like eventually it just evolved. That's military.
I think in the Revolutionary War, it there were more people who were hiding in like the forests and like hitting supply lines and committing all sorts of.
They're standing behind trees and shit, right?
Yeah.
That must have been a great time.
What, colonial times?
Yeah. There must have been something always going on.
Yeah, you would say that, but they're anti-abortion. I think the Civil War is they had those tactics of hiding in trees and stuff, but they also had so many new, like the weaponry just evolved so quickly in the Civil War, and then that was used in the Franco-Prussian War.
It was like cover was almost like a reaction. It was like I have to get behind something. Jesus,
absolutely need cover, like for artillery, and just they started getting more automatic weapons.
Well, now like they'll the guns themselves will have a shield on it. Back in the day, it was just a dude standing out in the open feeding fucking bullets into a giant cannon.
You had to like put a musket ball inside your gun. Put the fire, like the firepower. What's it called? The fire powder in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then you get shot.
And then you get
trying
shot
to load it.
Yeah.
It'd be like it 4 people died for that missed shot.
And then the musket would fling up, and the guy without a musket would just grab the drummer, would throw off his drums and just grab the musket and start firing.
Well, it's
Imagine
almost
being the drummer and getting shot as like you had no gun as the drummer.
Their wars must have like eventually though they must have like learned like, okay, we're losing too many people. We have to be a little more cautious.
Yeah, that was like after the Civil War, the Franco-Prussian War, the Napoleonic War was like I think the start of we're losing a lot of men, and then
Civil War I guess isn't fair to like really even because you're in your own country.
But that's what the Germans they devoured strategy from the Civil War, and they implemented it against the French in the Franco-Prussian War, and they destroyed France completely. They took Paris just by themselves.
That Reich knew what they were doing, man.
They were.
Oh, they cut David off. They're still alive. Big brother. Yeah, guys.
War.
Oh wait, you buffered.
Buffering still.
You're good now.
Yeah. So when Germany took France in the Franco-Prussian War, that's when they knew they could take the world.
We take the world.
They had the technology, they had the military advancements.
Didn't we basically we were like, fuck, we have to advance so we can beat Hitler. That was kind of our advancement. Or was it the Japanese?
Well,
I think that was the Japanese actually, because we invented the A-bomb at that time.
It was all of them. It was Germany and Japan. But I mean, Russia also advanced. The UK advanced. I mean,
technology itself advanced.
Right, yeah. Out of necessity.
That's amazing. And you want to green light abortion. Look what humans do. We fucking out of necessity, we create technology.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so intolerant of my position here. Abortion taking me to the ringer.
I'm so intolerant of your position. I'm intolerant of any position that's not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any good video games before we get out of here?
I'm still playing Fortnite.
Jesus Christ.
It's so addicting.
That's why I'm a little afraid to get on it, because I got addicted to Rocket League for a little while.
I could never get into Rocket League. I
love it.
Behind all my friends. And so the learning curve is just so it's too huge for me to want to continue. Like I have to play months and months just to get on their level.
Dude, you could learn that game in a day and then practice from there. It's maybe 4 or 5 different things you have to learn. It's a fun game. It's a fun pick up and play game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I could see that in because Fortnite is kind of a pick up and play shooter, right?
Right, and there's a lot you have to learn in Fortnite, like building, and every season they come out with new guns and new skill sets for the characters. Jesus. So you have to keep relearning. You have to learn new strategies.
I guess that's kind of cool if you're a kid just into it.
It keeps the game. It keeps the game from going stale.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they had spidey webs that you can spider web across the map and move fast.
All right, that's a little gay. It's a little gay.
They have jetpacks now that you can jetpack and move up and down. And
I'm sorry. I'm one of the few that really enjoyed the jetpacks in Call of Duty. I thought it was really fun.
Jetpacks are fun when you can shoot from a jetpack and just move around in all different directions.
Oh, I used to love the wall, the jetpack to the wall. You run across the wall, fucking snipe somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Misfit Ramdale, Chow Trash at Fortnite. Have you guys played?
I'll beat Ramdell.
I feel a challenge coming on.
I'm pretty good now at Fortnite. Pretty good.
I don't know. You didn't sound too confident.
I consistently get like 8, 9 kills.
Oh, big man on campus. Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. That's
okay.
Like if you kill 10 people, that's 10% of the players on the map. It's 100 players that go in.
What? Okay, that's 10%. Yeah, that is a good number. Xbox, what system?
Ramdell. Xbox.
Oh, let's get some gamer tags going here.
I'll tell them off when we're done.
We should have a challenge. That would be hard to like put together technically, though.
What would?
Actually, no, it wouldn't. You playing Ramdell?
I'll play him
on a stream.
Gotta beat him on a stream.
Yeah, you got to represent.
I think I can take Ramdell.
On air talent versus moderators. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
I don't see him taking me.
All right. We'll set that up.
I mean, when did he start playing? Maybe he's been playing. Maybe he'll slaughter me. I don't know. But Misfit Nation Gaming Tournament.
I'm very much down to do it, but let me not say yes to anything before I.
It's a yes. It's a yes. A big yes. We're doing it tomorrow.
I can't help myself. We're doing it tomorrow. Yeah. Let me figure out the technical side, and then I'm more than down to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. Have everybody in the chat. We'll make a night of it, huh?
We'll make it a weekend extravaganza.
Whoa, hey.
Like
WrestleMania. Ah, jinx.
You owe me a Coke.
We'll make it a 2-night event. By the second night, we're all hating each other. I'm like, I'm gonna make myself win.
You'll be so addicted to the game if you play with me. I'm
gonna ruin it like Vince McMahon.
You'll start talking about how we're gonna get that dub. We're gonna get that dub this time.
Misfit Nation versus the chat. I like that. I like that idea. I almost like that idea with anything. We verse the chat.
I'll play the chat at anything. Basketball, hopscotch, ping pong.
You sound a little desperate. You're like desperate to prove yourself.
I'm so bored.
Ping pong, checkers.
Ping pong, checkers, chess.
Chinese checkers.
I'll even play with a paper football.
That's got to be one of the worst games ever invented. Chinese checkers.
Chinese checkers?
Yeah? No?
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Nobody knows how to play it.
It's too many pieces. They all look the same.
You play?
It's kind of like their country.
Yeah. Too complex.
Oh man.
All right. I think we've exhausted it.
All right.
Or Roe v. Wade.
I'm tired of you.
Tired of you too, man.
Anything else?
I got nothing at this point.
All right. Well, thank you, Chow. I just had the weirdest case of deja vu. Have we talked about this before? We probably have.
Yeah.
What? Oh, doing this gaming thing?
Yeah, you challenging me to some sort. You challenged me to a fight.
Probably.
I think this is a better alternative. I'm willing to meet you in the middle, Ramdell.
I think he challenged you to a gun duel at one point.
A gun duel.
Yeah. I don't know what that was all about.
But 17th century weaponry.
Yeah. Ramdell, we probably have, because we've been planning on doing some gaming stuff. It's just the technical side of it. You see how much problems I run through on this mastering what I'm doing right now. This is not what we usually do, but yeah. So in time, that's definitely a big part of the future plans. And I got another thing I'm going to be announcing pretty soon that I'm working on. So
I'm excited to hear about it.
Stay tuned.
Anticipation's killing me.
Yeah. I'm not even going to tell you off air. Keep it to myself. I'm keeping this one under my hat.
I don't know I'm going to handle that.
Yeah, you're going to lose sleep.
I guess I'll just have to go on living. All right.
Well, thanks, Chow. You want to sign off here?
Thank you. Yep. Fuck off, everybody.
All right. That sounds good enough to me. Fuck off. Oh,